Okay, we have a very special treat this morning. Some people have heard this before. Others will obviously hear it for the first time, and it will make an impact on you. I'd like to call Brother Chris Graham forward, and I'd like to point out that his lovely wife, Amy, is here, and their son, and our fraternity brother, Nate, is here. And that's about all we need to say right now.
Brother Regent. Chris Graham, Zeta Psi 454, Lamar University. The Creed of Sigma Nu by Walter James Sears. To believe in the life of love, to win in the fresh morning of our youth, the loyal love of faithful friends who will go with us unmoved into the darkening shadows of life's closing day. And so to seek and to find, to have and to hold, the friendships that will abide. To think of God as a common Father of all men, and all men as a common brotherhood, thus recognizing the continuity of the divine and the solidarity of the human life. To build somewhere in the wide world the sheltering walls of a home, however humble and obscure, where love shall glorify the wife, duty enshrine the mother, and affection ennoble the child. To keep green the sainted memory of our loved and lost, their faults forgotten, their virtues enshrined in our hearts forever. To try bravely to do unto our fellow man as we would they should do unto us, reckoning not their lineage nor their wealth, but esteeming their manhood above their badge of rank. To let our lives be led by the spirits of gentleness, justice, and mercy. And so to be true to the knighthood of love. To walk in the way of honor, to exalt the fundamental virtues of the race, and prizing every noble impulse, to realize so deeply the baseness of deceit that no obligation will be more binding than our plighted word. To be steadfast in the performance of every trust and spurning the gaudy gifts of greed and power. To be content to live by our nightly vow that our honor is dearer to us than our lives. And so to esteem the man's character first, his culture second, his pedigree not at all, unless he be worthy of it. Emulating the chivalrous deeds of courtesy, and sealing not our hearts against the touch of tenderness, to win the love and care of some incorruptible woman. And so to be loyal to the knighthood of honor. To serve in the light of truth, to open wide life's windows to the revelations of heaven and earth, avoiding the Phariseeism that belittles the soul, and scorning the bigotry that blights the mind, to respect every altar of faith built in God's name by every sincere worshiper, to whom, if we cannot give our sympathy, we shall not deny the kindness of our manly silence. And whatever our creed, to reverence the Christ as the divine compassion for a struggling humanity, a compassion that, giving the world its gospel of human service, saves men to the end that they may serve their fellow man. To seek in nature the meaning of the infinite truth, to understand that the laws of growth are the laws of God, to believe that the melody of birds, the laughter of children, the unmeasured sacrifice of motherhood, and the ceaseless yearning of all men for a wider outlook and a nobler existence are prophetic of the perfect joy and love of another world. And so believing to find rest, as in the shadow of a great rock, against all the storms that beset us, catching from the silence of the starlit nights, the peace of the autumn days, the solemnity of the boundless seas, that spirit of hope and faith which soothes the hurt of grief, heals the wound of wrong, and calms the fever of doubt. To welcome the achievements of art and science, religion and learning, labor and law, under whose radiant banners battle the host of progress, honoring every honest student as the benefactor of his race, and every consecrated school as a bulwark of the Republic, and so to be loyal to the American University as the home of American liberty, democracy, religion, and culture. To guard with jealous care not only the ancient rights of human freedom, in whose name we shall destroy all wrong and oppression, but also the newer rights of social service, the ultimate purpose of whose ministrations shall be to give to every life the opportunity to enjoy the earth in the fullness of its beauty and grace, its comfort and good cheer, holding fast to the conviction that whatever sweetens our natures, uplifts our ideals, strengthens our characters, and disenthralls our spirits will bring us in the end into the full stature of a noble manhood, and so inspired to cling to the visions of our youth, and despite the sordid struggles of a selfish world, to practice every day as lads in college and the men in the world the faith of our fraternity, thinking of it not only as the inspiring ideal of a militant brotherhood, but also as a creative force for the spiritual development of men, whose lives it shall dedicate to love, glorify with honor, and conquer for truth, and so to be faithful to the knighthood of truth. I would now ask that the knights and candidates of the Legion of Honor please stand. And as a united voice and brotherhood, let us profess the creed of Sigma Nu, to believe in the life of love, to walk in the way of honor, to serve in the light of truth. This is the life, the way, and the light of Sigma Nu. This is the creed of our fraternity.
Thank you, Chris. That's as moving every time I hear it as it was the first time. And I'd like to ask Amy and Nate to join Chris on the platform, please. Okay, brothers and guests, it is my privilege to make a special presentation to an outstanding individual and family who has worked to make this grand chapter quite special and this fraternity much stronger. Sigma Nu Fraternity's Regent's Medallion of Merit Award is the only fraternity award that is given by our board of directors, our High Council. The medallion is reserved for those individuals, whether they be members of Sigma Nu or not, whose work has advanced the mission of our fraternity in a manner reflective of our Sigma Nu's creed, which you just so beautifully heard, and principles of love, honor, and truth. Since becoming an alumnus, Chris Graham has never ceased in his tireless devotion to Sigma Nu. His commitment in serving in key volunteer roles for Sigma Nu has shined for the better part of 3 decades. Chris's dedication to love, truth, and honor is more than exemplified through his actions as he continues to lead the young men in our chapters to excellence. Chris currently serves as the Division Commander of the South Central Division, covering much of the great state of Texas. But his engagement with collegiate and alumni leaders is not restricted by geography. Brother Graham has traveled to numerous chapters from Southeast Missouri to Akron, Ohio, to Bloomington, Indiana, to Virginia, to recite, as you just heard, the Preamble and the Creed of Sigma Nu Fraternity from memory. You've noticed these teleprompters. You may think it was on the teleprompter. It was not. Chris travels regularly from his home in Houston to Dallas and beyond to assist with ritual education, lead facilitation, alumni advisory board and alumni chapter development, and alumni events. He has served as the fraternity's representative at charterings and chapter anniversaries across Texas. Chris has helped students on the path to chartering their chapters, alumni seeking to revive their closed chapters, and mentored his fellow volunteers. In addition to his duties as Division Commander, Chris has been a faithful volunteer for Sigma Nu Fraternity for 35 years, serving as chapter advisor, alumni chapter commander, and House Corporation president to his home chapter, Zeta Psi chapter at Lamar. Chris is a five-time recipient of the Division Commander of the Year and our 2007 Chapter Advisor of the Year. Chris is a generous supporter of our foundation as well. He currently serves on the Grand Chapter Ritual Committee and has previously served as a member and chair of the Appeals and Grievances Committee. Chris is a member of the McCulley Commission, which is tasked with preserving planning for the fraternity's history and archives, as you heard Regent Gilman discuss yesterday. For a decade now, Chris has served on the faculty of our College of Chapters, including the last 2 years, where he took on advanced responsibilities to serve in a staff role by leading a small group alongside another volunteer. And just for this Grand Chapter, as you know from earlier in the week, Chris worked with state officials and officers to obtain a letter of welcome from the governor and the state of Texas and a Texas flag that flew over the state capitol on our fraternity's anniversary. Chris, your tireless efforts, your selfless manner, your unwavering dedication to the Legion of Honor is so greatly appreciated. You make our fraternity better, and you help set the standard for which each brother should strive to attain. On behalf of Sigma Nu Fraternity, it is my privilege to recognize your incredible work with the presentation of the Regent's Medallion of Merit.